In this clip, this brilliant young man, he tried to answer the question, why is most of Gen Z single?
Oh, that's interesting.
Right? I wonder what he's gonna say.
We think that he had a great point, but it was some things we thought was a little bit off.
Yep.
So we decided to add some perspective for somebody older, wiser, more handsome, sexy. Stay all the way to the end because we brought in clips from other creators that sort of proved our point. It's a lot of information and a lot of editing. So I hope you guys enjoy it.
Push play.
Why is most of Gen Z single?
Think about what social media has done to them.
You mean how social media tells women that they'll never be enough and tells men that women only want to use them for their money?
Yes, it's trained them to fear and have low social skills.
How could social media be affecting their social skills though? Millennials had social media and they turned out just fine. So then what's happening to Gen Z?
Gen Z men are watching red pill content that tells them women are trying to use them in a fear of being cheated on.
What?
And Gen Z women are watching content that tells them men are actively trying to hurt them.
Nobody actually watches that content. And even if they did, what would that do to their self-esteem?
Because it affects their confidence in the real world to the point that they're scared of approaching each other.
Okay, so they're not dating because they have social anxiety. But is that the only reason?
This is just one factor among other things like people's priorities, which is trying to be successful in life.
When I was young, I was trying to be successful when I had plenty of time that day.
Because dating back then was a luxury. Nowadays, Gen Z is convinced they need to make 7 figures or they're worth nothing and they think their life's over at the age of 20.
Where would they get that bright idea? I hope it's not social media. But why would they put success before finding a soulmate?
Because in a sense, it is important to survive and be able to survive on your own before you think of having a partner and having to care for them as well. If you can't take care of yourself.
Nobody needs millions of dollars to take care of themselves. So what would make Gen Z think they need that much money?
Think about it. You go online, you see all these millionaire 19-year-olds with cars, and you don't have millions or cars.
I'm broke.
The other thing you see is red pill content saying women hate
They
you.
do.
How would you feel about yourself?
I would feel completely awful about myself because the internet told me so when I would call myself garbage. But what about women?
And then it's vice versa. You go online, you see your favorite celebrities living their dreams.
It should have been me.
5 mansions and 5 cars.
I'm not
and then
enough.
when you look at your life, you have no cars.
Uber
And then
everywhere.
You go online again, men are actively trying to hurt you and hate you. How would you feel about yourself?
I guess I would hate myself and never think I'm enough, and then eventually I would get surgery to try to keep up with everybody I see online.
I would say the problem is social media. It's a focus of negativity, and for some reason, the thing people fear the most blows up the most.
You want to know what I fear? I fear you ate, but it's too late! Valentine's Day!
He said a lot.
Yeah, no, it was the yelling for me. Shout out to Jeffrey. He sent us this clip.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I think that's something that we talked about before as far as like social media, how it's really like messed this generation up. I mean, for us, we had social media, but not like it is now. Of course, it's advanced so much more within the past 10 years.
Well, I don't really know about that. I wasn't included in anything he said. Apparently, I'm an old man.
Yep.
I'm an old man.
You are so old.
My wife's a millennial. They talked about millennials. Millennials turned out fine, they said. Because I am an old man.
Really?
If y'all check any account that has my name on it, I ain't said or done nothing on that joker in a long time. Why? Because
This is true.
I didn't grow up with it.
Stop the cap.
The millennials, those the jokers that's on Facebook. They be communicating with like family and friends and stuff. Y'all jokers that's like millennials and younger, y'all joker be talking to complete strangers like they your best friend since you was in kindergarten.
That is true.
So that's one of the big differences. Because
No, you just don't like the phone.
no,
or
it
social
ain't
media.
got nothing to do
Yes,
with that.
it does.
What it really is I really grew up without it.
I don't believe you.
Now, see, here's a difference.
No.
When I was in high school and when I had in college, right, I didn't even have a phone until I was out of high school.
That's true.
My third job, that's when I got my first phone.
How old are you, anyway?
So for me, I have no draw because it was so long before I even got my first phone. And when I got my first phone, it wasn't like an access to internet type of thing.
No.
You're lying.
He just don't like the phone, y'all.
No.
Yeah, good point.
Well, I don't like the phone either.
Yeah.
So now we're getting to the truth.
Friends that are your age, older,
Did you call old Otis old?
and in between, they're on social media.
What's your excuse now, huh?
I know, that's what's wrong with all y'all now. That's why everything sucks. Didn't you hear what the dude just said? He said, it's social media. No, don't be like me. Be somewhere in between me and all y'all people with messed up lives. Somewhere in between.
Why is most of Gen Z single?
Think about what social media has done to them.
You mean how social media tells women that they'll never be enough and tells men that women only want to use them for their money?
In your experience, has social media told women that they're not enough?
Nowadays, yeah, the red pill content.
Oh yeah, that is sure.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Kinda, yeah. It's a lot of bashing the modern woman nowadays.
Well, sort of.
I'm trying to get to the nitty gritty of it. If the men are saying the women are not enough, why are they saying they're not enough? What are they saying is missing that makes them not enough?
They're too focused on men's finances.
You are correct.
They're focusing on the wrong things when it comes to relationships, is what they're telling them.
Again, ma'am, you are correct.
They're telling them that they're delusional.
Delusional.
The ones who are really like dead focused on career and you're gonna die alone.
Ouch.
That's what I hear most of the time when I'm looking at content online.
I think his overall point is good. But then when you start to put together some of the things he's saying, in my personal opinion, there's a little bit of a gap there. When he says social media tells women that they're not enough. Now, there's two different sides of social media.
You're probably gonna say the same thing I was gonna speak on.
Then you speak on it. Go ahead, say what you was
The
gonna say.
not enough part also, I think for women is the way that they look. Because they're showing women with BBLs and you know what I'm saying? Like they have like this flashy lifestyle or what have you, like all this like high-end stuff or their clothes, their hair, their makeup, their nails. Like it's like if you don't have these things or if you don't look like this, you're regular or you're average.
You're normal and there is nothing wrong with you, okay?
So social media has women believing that they're not enough. So there's multiple sides. Number one, there's the girl code side.
Oh boy.
Which in the girl code side is, girl, you a 10, no matter what you look like or what you do, what you make or what your lifestyle is, who you've dated or what your past is.
Why not? Because it's ridiculous.
There's that side of it where they're not really telling you you're not enough. They're telling you that you're more than enough and that you're the table.
That doesn't make sense.
Y'all have heard that before, right? If I find a clip, here's a clip of women telling you the table.
Oh boy, here we go again.
Bam.
We are the most educated. We are extremely desirable. We are the table, the chairs, the foundation, the room, the building, the air you breathe.
That is ridiculous.
There it is. So there's a side of social media that is definitely not telling women that they're not enough.
You're a princess, you don't have to settle.
But then there's another side of social media, which would be some of the red pill guys who are saying the way you are has to change for relationships. Here's the issue. Number one, when you say you're not enough, a lot of women and a lot of people will translate that into personal worth. Who you are worth as a person is not tied to dating, market, value.
It's not the same.
So when he makes that blanket statement, a lot of people are going to interpret, I'm not worth enough as a person, as a human being. I am less than you.
It doesn't work that way.
I gotcha. Okay.
No. The things that you've concentrated on your line are not productive to a relationship, usually with the type of guy that most women want in the first place. So I think that there's a misconstruing of what men are talking about.
Okay.
And then he also said men are being told that women want them for their money, just want them for their money.
Now, I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no broke.
The red pillars specifically is telling them this. It's the red pillars that are telling them this.
You can't be serious.
I want y'all to tell me, is she red pill?
I don't know if you guys have met men, but it's actually so hard to get money out of them. And by the time you finally do get money out of a man, oh my God, you actually, all the effort you put into trying to get money out of that man, you actually could have just put into like yourself, your business, your career, and it pays way more dividends. That is why I am now focusing on just getting money. I cannot care too much about men. Did women actually want men or did we just want money? Like, I really feel like the girls just wanted money because we wanted to live a beautiful life, because we wanted nice things, because we wanted to travel, because we wanted to have actual fun with the people we care about, which is actually just our girlfriends. I don't know that the girls actually really wanted men. It was always about the money. For all the girls that have kind of stopped listening to Shara 7 and are just focusing on themselves and trying to build their careers and get to the bag, if you really were listening to Shara, it was never really about the man. It was always about using the man to get money. So if you were a follower of Shara, I'm not sure you actually really wanted that man. I think you just wanted money.
I don't know if she's part of the red pill.
That's not likely.
I would bet money that she wasn't.
I feel like that's all a product of social media.
Yes, that's true.
No, I agree. When we're having these conversations, there is misconstruing happening. People have a perception of what the red pill is.
Do you have any idea what you're talking about?
Most likely, no.
Now, of course, there's toxic sides to every movement.
Right.
So there's a toxic side to the red pill that does and says things, you know, that side that denied my application and told me that because I actually fell in love with a woman and created a family that I can't be in there.
That ain't right.
Because I have to have a little bit more disdain towards women.
No, that is the truth.
So I was rejected by those toxic parts of red pill. There's another part of red pill that really speaks the truth about relationships and won't let this slide. And we'll put this on a video like we did.
You're welcome.
And we'll say, hey, dudes, be careful. There are women out there like this who think like this. And I don't think that that's a bad thing. I don't think that you can blame men or the red pill because there are women that actually exist like this.
What did you expect?
I'm really sorry to break it to you, but
there really are women that exist like that. And this is from me being, you know, I can't get into the red pill.
What's the biggest regret of my life?
I was rejected from feminism.
I'll never get over it.
Nobody wants me.
I'm so sad and lonely.
That's just sad, man.
So I get to stay. Oh, see, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes, it's training to fear and have low social skills.
How could social media be affecting their social skills, though? Millennials had social media and they turned out just fine. So then what's happening?
Okay, all right. All right, millennials. I married one. They turned out okay. They turned out better than y'all jokers. Y'all Negroes is jacked up.
That's messed up.
Okay, so I found an interesting stat. So when we talk about how people turned out, millennials are people who are, as of 2025, 29 to 44 years old. That's the millennial gap. That's people born between 81 and 96, right? You have 67% of boomers are married, aged 25 to 37. Now, the reason that's significant is by 37, you're in geriatric pregnancy. So now your family building is going to be in jeopardy. And at that point, you're not really considered too young to have children by most. But once you pass that, you're into danger zone as far as being able to create a family on your own. And for everybody, just like you can just get in vitro. I don't know why y'all act like in vitro is the answer. It's not the answer to nothing unless you got a certain amount of money. You're talking about $10,000 to $14,000 per egg for a round of in vitro. But it's not like 90% of the first rounds take effect. That's not what the stat is. I should look that up. So you have 67% of boomers are married between 25 and 37. 57% of Gen X are married between 25 and 37. 46% of millennials between 25 and 37. It's not just y'all, it's been a downward trend ever since pretty much the 1950s. And then you have a lot of guys who are red pill adjacent or conservative who say the reason that is because that was with the rise of feminism, the rise of the civil rights movement. Feminism and the civil rights movements are very intertangled. That's the reason I put that in there. And that ties into like when women talk about voting rights versus men and stuff like that. Like black men and women got the right to vote nationally, like 1960 something, while dealing with a lot of different types of voter suppression. So it's like a poll tax and all this other stuff. So women who will be like, oh, women didn't get the right to vote until a certain age and stuff like that. That's why I tied that together, because all of us pretty much who weren't white and rich were suppressed for most of American history. So it has been a decline. And the idea that it's getting worse is very true, but it's a lot of reasons why it's going down. Social media, I do think, is a big part of it.
So then what's happening to Gen Z?
Gen Z men are watching red pill content that tells them women are trying to use them in a fear of being cheated on. And Gen Z women are watching content that tells them men are actively trying to hurt them.
As far as men actively trying to hurt women, I found a stat that said that approximately 35% of men since the age of 14 report having committed at least one essay since the age of 14.
What the hell?
Now, here's the issue. The types of essay. Because they're talking about forced contact, verbal coercion, and then the big R word. So the issue becomes, it's a multivariate thing when you talk about essay, and it could be somebody saying something a little too fresh to you. Wow. Some people will consider that essay. And this is where you start to get the variances in reporting. This is where you get the variances in the stats from study to study. And it makes it very hard to track. So that's one of those things that's like very, as far as the women.
When they use them for their money.
Yeah.
Harvey, tell everyone the truth.
I mean, we just saw something about the women wanting to use them for their money. Yeah, that's out there.
Absolutely, yes.
There are men out there who just want women just for their bodies, right? And their looks.
Of course it is.
There are relationships where people actually get married and it's purely transactional.
that is true.
Gold diggers.
She take my money when I'm in need. Yes, it's the
trifling friend indeed.
Ain't with the guy because they think he's the greatest man on the planet.
True.
Yeah, that's true.
And those guys are not with that woman because she intellectually stimulates him.
Also true.
That is also true, yes.
I found this funny. And the thing that I find funny about it is some of the stats for how many people were actually interacting with what this guy was saying.
Girl, if you don't like men, you're probably gonna make an amazing girlfriend.
What?
Please excuse me, but that does not make sense.
Now, as your fairy godbrother...
First of all, what the hell? Girl, if you don't like men, you're probably gonna make an amazing girlfriend.
Well, that doesn't make sense.
I'm assuming he's talking about like literal girlfriend, BFF type friend.
Oh, it's not though. Oh.
Godbrother, I'm gonna put you on game in terms of who you should be dating if you don't like men.
It still doesn't make sense.
It's mostly been the smart and successful women that have had or don't like men, and that is because most of the time men through school and work have tried to humble them and disrespect them. And so y'all have really good reason to if you don't like men too.
It still doesn't make sense.
But the reason why I'm on here is because I want you to do things differently. And we are choosing the men and not waiting to be chosen. And you have amazing partnership skills and gifts. And so we can't just be giving that to anybody. So I'm here to share with you who I think...
Why he keep on saying you have amazing partnership skills?
It doesn't work that way.
Like, where's the proof of these amazing partnership skills from somebody who don't even like the person that they partnering with?
Pretty sure it doesn't work that way, but we can try.
I don't know.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
Like, how do you quantify that? This is what people are listening to, y'all.
You're lost.
And it's funny, it's feeding into my man's point. I don't agree with everything he said when you break it down to the details of it, but this is feeding into his point.
I think you should be partnering with and focused on as you are dating if you don't like men.
Look, I'm sorry. I know that's harsh, but the truth that no one's telling you is...
That's dumb.
Okay, so if you've heard of this concept, it's a little bit trendy on TikTok. It is called the black cat golden retriever relationship. Hey girl, you smart and successful girl that's listening to this, you're the black cat. You're the no-nonsense girl. You need to be looking out for the golden retriever. He's the little bit nervous, a little bit pesky, a perky golden retriever. Many black cats out there are really only focused on their clone, someone that is just like them. But girl, you don't want Mr. Nonchalant. You want
He just talked about hypergamy. To translate it, he said, y'all keep looking at men who have similar characteristics to what you have. Boss chick, you keep on getting a boss man and he's nonchalant. He doesn't really care about your accomplishments. He doesn't really take you seriously for some strange reason. He's Mr. Nonchalant. Don't that sound like a lot of red pill ideology to you?
Yep. Just a little bit.
I find that weird. He just saying it different.
You want chalant, girl. So we're looking for the golden retriever. So these are the two guys that I want you to focus on when you are dating if you don't like men. I want you to focus on the nervous guy because the nervous guy likes you. He's nervous because he's putting you on a pedestal. He thinks that you are a goddess, and that's how you should be treated at the end of the day. So give the nervous
Did you have anything? Because I'm just taking over because some of the stuff they're saying is just so crazy.
Do you know that you're insane?
You know, I was just gonna say, like, the whole idea of you don't want somebody that's
Not interested.
well, duh.
Well, duh.
They say opposites attract for a reason. Like, you don't want someone who's exactly like you because then it's just like, how are they fulfilling the missing pieces or the missing spots? Like, how are you guys coming together to make a whole if you're the same half? Like, that doesn't make sense.
You don't make sense.
What he didn't say, you getting with someone who's going to be different from you. He's talking about the successful boss babe or what have you. Yeah, you want a guy, you want a manly man, right? So a manly man is going to want a very feminine woman.
Well, that's obvious.
You're not very feminine 9 out of 10 times if you're one of those really boss babes where you had to like climb the corporate ladder or what have you because you had to exert a certain amount of testosterone and masculinity for you to be able to compete with men for that position. There's not an issue with that. And I think that's part of the issue. That's part of the issue. Like a lot of women, they feel as though men hate on them. Well, actually, let me take that back. There are some that do.
Yeah.
You got that right.
But I don't necessarily think it's as much as women in that stratosphere may feel. It's not so much of your accomplishments, it's your attitude. You cannot expect to have a manly man and you not be a woman. And when I say that, I mean as far as like your femininity.
Feminine character. And just to get even more specific, when I hear people talking about that type of woman, they've started calling it wounded masculine because they said it's not true masculinity. It's sort of a caricature of what masculinity is. I have to somewhat agree with that because of the differences in the way men and women think biologically, chemically, the way that we process the signals in our brain. We did a video, bam, where we was talking about that. There is scientific proof that men and women have different connections in their brains between the right and the left hemisphere. So our connection emotionally is different naturally. So for a woman to mimic that look, you don't even have the ability most of the time to fully mimic that because you don't know what it's like to be a man, just like a man doesn't know what it's like to be a woman for real. All we can do is mimic what we see and create a caricature of it. If you look at men who are not straight, and you look at women who are not straight, butch women are overly masculine. Yep. Because they're doing a caricature. Not straight men are overly feminine. They sit and switch harder than my wife does because it's a caricature. You can talk about societally and everything, but there are differences between men and women, how we process emotions biologically. And a lot of people don't want to accept that because of the current climate that we're in. But unfortunately, objective truth don't care about how you feel. We going on a tangent. I'm gonna stop.
Give the nervous guy a chance. And secondly, you should be going for the guy who doesn't make a move on you. The guy that doesn't make a move on you on a date is overly respectful of your boundaries. Just like golden retrievers will jump in front of the cat but not actually jump on the cat. That's what you want in your guy when you're dating him. Because these are boyfriend skills. These are the guys that are gonna make great boyfriends and great husbands at the end of the day. And that's what I want for you. So if you need any help with this, definitely book a call and I hope this helps.
He said book a call.
Yeah, so
Lord have mercy.
Some of his reasonings for getting to certain things I feel was a little off, but he was right in his overall message, just like the other guy. If you are portraying this type of energy, you're not going to attract somebody giving off the same energy.
Doesn't work that way, kiddo.
It's like having the two same sides of a magnet pointing at each other. You see how they repel? That's what's going to happen. You can't attract.
Oh, that's a good one.
You can't attract with the same size of the magnet. You have to flip it. It has to be the opposite sides. Like we're talking basic biology, scientific stuff that actually bleeds over into relationships and emotions and things of that nature. That's why psychology is a science, because there is a science to it.
Nobody actually watches that content. And even if they did, what would that do to their self-esteem?
Because it affects their confidence in the real world to the point that they're scared of approaching each other.
Okay, so they're not dating because they have social anxiety. But is that the only reason?
This is just one factor among other things like people's priorities, which is trying to be successful in life.
When I was young, I was trying to be successful when I had plenty of time that day.
Because dating back then was a luxury. Nowadays, Gen Z is convinced they need to make 7 figures or they're worth nothing and they think their life's over at the age of 20.
Where would they get that bright idea? I hope it's not social media. But why would they put success before finding a soulmate?
Because in a sense, it is important to survive and be able to survive on your own before you think of having a partner and having to care for them as well. If you can't take care of yourself.
Nobody needs...
Okay, see, and this is one of y'all major issues. Now, I don't have a stat for this or a video or anything like that. This is good old fashioned, we've been married for 20 years advice.
Yes.
When we got married, we weren't able to take care of ourselves, y'all.
Wait. What do you mean?
We were living with our parents. We got married, and when we got into our first apartment, we ain't had no bed. We ain't had no furniture. Okay, we technically had furniture. When I think furniture, I'm thinking like living room stuff.
Yeah.
We had an entertainment center. We had a small eat-in kitchen type table and some blankets.
Yes.
And some closets.
And clothes.
And we had a lot of clothes.
You got that right.
That was part of the problem. We had
and audio stuff.
And we had audio stuff because of where she worked. I know everybody goes, I don't want to struggle. Fine.
Nothing wrong with that.
Understand that you not wanting to struggle is going to come at a cost.
There will be consequences for every choice you make.
And it may be the cost of finding you somebody who's really going to ride for you. I would venture to say most relationships where people really have that really tight-knit relationship, where they really trust each other, where they really got each other's back for real, take years to build through struggle, through pain, because that's what builds character in human beings in general.
Right.
And as you become one, you have to build a character for your marriage the same way you build a character for yourself. because you are one now. You are a new individual. Everybody wants to start in the middle. All we're worried about is money and happiness. And we're worried about money because we think money equals happiness.
Yeah.
And because that is our focus, we're losing all of the other stuff. All we doing nowadays is finding out what people found out hundreds of years ago, the hard way, all over again. And a part of it is because we're so arrogant, we think that we're smarter than previous generations, and we don't think that they figured anything out. Then on the other side, if they would have explained some stuff, maybe it would have helped. They just was like, because I said so. That was part of the problem. For people who be like, oh, I don't understand why the red pill acts like X, Y, and Z. I was red pilled, but it was just my mind opening up to the realities between how men and women interact with each other. Like that's the basis of the movement. The so-called Godfather, that was his whole point. Then you had people who took the message and just went left.
That almost never happened.
It was like, oh, it's natural for us to want many, many women.
By the way, that's old news.
In the Bible, that's called the flesh. This is not a new concept. It's literally been around for thousands of years.
That is old news.
It's just that they were like, we should probably fight that because it's not good for societies, because monogamy is actually the best thing that we ever came up with for a stable family and for raising children. It's better than every other thing that we've ever done. They've all had worse consequences. So this is the best one. Here you go, guys. Thank you. Took us thousands of years to figure it out. We got it. All right, cool. Why are you doing that?
Stop this.
Wait, no, we already tried that.
Stop.
Why are you doing what we already tried?
Stop this.
Y'all stupid.
Don't want to listen.
That's pretty much what's happening. Hey guys, it's our 20th anniversary.
Yay! And in honor of that, we wanted to actually give something back to you guys, to the village. So we're going to give you 20 timeless principles that have actually helped sustain us over these past 20 years. So hopefully you guys enjoy. Check out the link in the description. It might be just a link or it might be something else. You never know, but you got to stay tuned to find out. If you guys made it this far, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, turn on your post notifications, and give us a thumbs up, all right? Because that really helps with the algorithm. It tells YouTube that you appreciate what we're putting down.
What we're putting down?
Hey, everybody. Down in the description, there are 2 links.
One is to a GoFundMe, and the other one is to a video that explains what the GoFundMe is for. Long story short, we have a medical situation with our daughter that we have to pay for everything out of pocket, and we could really use you guys' help. If you have the time, we'd love for you to go check it out. If you have the money, the funds, we'd love for you guys to help. If not, maybe you could send a link to somebody else who can help. We thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Press the off button.